got baby face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water make Gulf US away. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Me got baby face, me got big chair. Trump bad, Trump good, me no care. Me write big book, kill billies and stuff. Now me import and wear tie up tough. Me go Yale school, me learn big word. Now me forget everything me heard. Silicon people give me job, me take. Now me like Trump, me make no mistake. Yo, it's JD Advance. Fight walk folk, me say never die. Me protect kids, me born liberal. Him, them, there. America simple, only two gender. Me face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water make Gulf US of A. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Too many gender for my agenda. Went on a bender, execo the sender. Might take Panama just like na. Might take Gaza, pop down a plaza. With this one majesty.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime Mage, IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Friday. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get right into it. I got a busy day ahead of me. We're going to do multiple CobraCasts. I may or may not make an appearance on Friday Night Tights. And then a gaming stream later tonight. That's right, a gaming stream later tonight. I am actually, a lot of us are going to be playing. Half of you are going to just fucking bitch at me, and the other half are probably going to want to see it. But we're going to try out Black Ops 7 tonight. So we'll see. We're gonna play Black Ops 7 multiplayer tonight. We'll see what happens. But either way. Jason, stay away from F&T D-Day Karen. Well, now I'm 100% going to show up now. Just because of you. Just for you. To piss you off individually, I will show up. That's it. Right there. So, there you have it. But either way, should be fun. We'll see. It's going to be a long day. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot to cover. Tucker Carlson dropped an absolute bomb today. Tucker Carlson dropped a bomb. And we have to discuss what he did today, along with what President Trump did today, because President Trump dropped a bomb as well on the Democrats. The Democrats can't stop talking about the Epstein situation. So President Trump today announces he will be directing the DOJ and the FBI to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many others. Records show that these men spent large portions of their life with Jeffrey Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. So this is where you are, Democrats. You have ran your mouths so much about this shit. And now Trump has decided, fuck you. You really want to know the truth about Epstein? Fine. Let's do it. So that's where we are now. This is what you guys asked for it. So this is what you're getting. Now, in isolation, that's a pretty cool announcement. Okay. In isolation, that's a cool announcement. However, there's going to be a lot more information that we're going to talk about that I think puts, takes a little bit of the shine off of the shoe of this announcement. And we will get into that here. All right. Momentarily. But I just love that he is basically, they won't shut up about it. And so now he's like, boom, here you go. Okay. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Also, the backfire on this JD Vance meme right now, from Gavin Newsom's press office, it's getting so much backlash. Like, this has been a massive backfire with this meme. So the Governor Newsom's press office Twitter account, which I am convinced is run by a MAGA person, they posted this meme of JD Advanced, and they make him look cool. That's all they do. And this thing has gone mega viral. The left cannot meme. It's the truth. The left simply can't meme. My goodness, man. These people are so completely out of touch with reality. It's unbelievable. True and Joy says, that's cool. What the F? I know. It's crazy, man. Like, what are they doing? Also, we have this right here. This is talking about the Trump of seeing the effects of the Trump derangement syndrome in their patients. What? We said TDS is a real thing, didn't we? Well, this is TDS right here.
Jonathan is in focus with me now. So first of all, identify it for us. You're in a session and you pick up on what?
Well, Harris, it doesn't take long for me to pick up on this. People are obsessed with Trump. They're fixated. They're hyper fixated on Trump. And they talk about some of the features of this disorder. They can't sleep. They feel traumatized by Mr. Trump.
What? Bro, these people. Listen to what he just said.
Of this disorder, they can't sleep. They feel traumatized by Mr. Trump. They feel restless. I had one patient who said she couldn't enjoy a vacation because anytime she saw Trump in the news or on her device, she felt triggered. So this is a profound pathology, and I would even go so far as to call it the defining pathology of our time.
What have I been saying? What have me and my Alabama education been saying? That Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. It's not a meme. It might have started out as a meme. It's a real thing. It is seriously, that is the true pandemic of our time. Trump derangement syndrome. It truly is. Mark Hamill says, hey, exactly. Mark Hamill suffers from it. Mark Ruffalo, Robert De Niro, Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell is the first known patient with Trump derangement syndrome.
These people come to you for the things that you described. Can't sleep, traumatized, perhaps depression. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But at first, you are there to treat an illness, a disorder of some kind. And what you figure out is the trigger.
Well, and Trump is the trigger for many of these people. And to be that fixated on a figure, on a person, it's simply not healthy. And our country has strayed so far away from where we once were. If you look at in the 80s when President Reagan was shot, people were united. He famously said, I hope you're all Republicans to the surgeons. And the response was, today, Mr. President, we're all Republicans. But our country has lost that. We've strayed so far from that unity.
Mm-hmm. And what do you...
And that's not Donald Trump's fault, by the way. That is the leftist media, the lies from Hollywood and the Democrats that has divided so many people. It's not Trump's fault. Trump's done nothing wrong. It's all of these lunatics.
You see, because you told me off camera 3/4 of your patient load right now has what you're calling this TDS.
Well, 3/4 of my patients will present with a lot of these symptoms, and within probably 5 minutes of seeing me, their hatred for Trump comes up. So if you're that hyper-focused on Trump, that's a real issue, and it's worth being treated.
That is amazing. You love to see it. But yeah, there you have it. So Trump derangement syndrome, it's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. And it is truly the true pandemic that we are dealing with. The true pandemic. Unbelievable. Now, speaking of TDS, among other things, let's hear from Hunter Biden, because Hunter Biden did another interview. That's right.
Let me tell you where the genocide is about to occur.
Where's the genocide about to occur, Hunter Biden? Please tell us with your very, very level-headed takes. We're sure. Go ahead and let us know.
It is occurring right now, directly because of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Oh, wow. Where did you come up with that one, crackhead Hunter? Where did you come up with that one? Such an original thought from Hunter Crackhead Biden.
Donald Trump, under the direction of Elon Musk, ended USAID, a organization, government organization that has been in existence since the late 60s, and have saved. And when I was talking about what the good that the United States could do, it could not be more embodied than in the work that USAID has done over the course of decades. Every single major study that has been done ever since USAID ended, which was back in May, and it's ended, it's gone, okay, is that over 14 million people are going to die because of the end of USAID. And the genocide here is going to be in the fact that it is not as if 14 million people are going to die in the next 5 years. By the way, 4 million of them, children under the age of 5. And it's not like I'm saying, if we all just got together, if the United States could muster the support of the world, we can come up with the resources and we can figure out how to be able to change these people's lives and give them hope and a chance for existence. That's not what I'm talking about. What they did is they went in and they flipped the fucking switch. And because they flipped that switch, 14 million people are going to die. 4 million of them are going to be children.
Yeah.
That's a fucking genocide. Excuse my language.
It's okay.
That's my that is a genocide.
You've already dropped an F-bomb once, and then you drop it again, and then you oh my God. Anyway. So Hunter Biden has no idea what he's talking about. Hunter Biden is a crackhead. Hunter Biden is a person that has never had to earn anything in his life. And now I don't even know, man, like who is like, shouldn't like the family be like, dude, can you just shut up? Because you're not helping anything right now. The Biden crime family. Exactly. So, yeah, again, the more angry that these leftists get over the decisions that Trump has made, the better off that decision is. And that's how you know how good the decision is, by how triggered they get. So what an absolute disaster. Isaac says, please no clips of obese black women on this stream. Thanks, Jeremy. Of course, Isaac. Oh, never going to live that one down. Never going to live that one down. Mod Eric says, Jeremy, you are ordered to give the mods a raise. You know what? Maybe if we sell enough shirts, we can do that. By the way, I will say we're off to a pretty good start on our merch sales. I'll be interested to see if we can move enough of that Unit 199 shirt, but we've been off to a really good start. You guys have been buying a lot of this, and we've got till November 25th, so you only got about 11 days left. And if we sell enough of the Cultural Task Force shirt, I have to officially anoint Die Hard a Christmas movie, which it is not. 400. We have to sell 400 of those shirts, which I don't think we can. That's why I put the number that high. So we're safe. So 400 is what we got to sell. And I will officially, I tried to sneak 500 in there, but somebody called me out. So I was like, all right, fine, 400. So if we sell 400 of that shirt, it'll be a Christmas movie. That's it. Hang on just a minute. What do you mean give more money? Are you accusing me of being a grifter? Are you accusing me? You think that's what I view my audience as, is just people to give me money? What? I am very offended by this. I can't believe you would say something so hurtful. I don't want to be known as that. That's really not good. Like, I saw someone the other day say something like that on my live stream, and it hurt my feelings. It was one of the top comments. Let's see if I can find it. Someone says, "Stop giving this grifter money," and I'm like, when have I ever asked for money? When have I ever celebrated getting super chats? I would never do anything like that. Damn, I can't find the fucking comment. I had it timed perfectly. Somebody did accuse me of selling out, though, right here. He said Jeremy sold out. Jeremy sold out big time. You can just see it looking at Jeremy. Zionist made him rich, and all he had to do was sell his soul. Boom. Busted. What's this one? Love you, Jeremy, but your stance on porn is your most L take. It is inherently destructive to everyone involving, including society itself. It is the government's duty to protect people from its destruction. Let me change what you said. Love you, Jeremy, but your stance on guns is the most L take. It is inherently destructive to everyone involved, including society itself. It is the government's duty to protect people from its destruction. Let me change what you said with Dr. Pepper. Love you, Jeremy, but your stance on Dr. Pepper is your most L take. It is inherently destructive to everyone involved, including society itself. It is the government's duty to protect people from its destruction. Let's put fucking Little Debbie cakes. Love you, Jeremy, but your stance on Little Debbie cakes is the most L take. It is inherently destructive to everyone involved, including society itself. It is the government's duty to protect people from it. Video games. Love you, Jeremy, but your stance on video games is your most L take. It is inherently destructive to everyone involved, including society itself. It is the government's duty to protect us. Protect me, government. Protect me from the bad things of the world. Daddy government, give me a mask. Force me to take shots. Protect me from the coronavirus, daddy government. Give me more boosters, daddy government. How about you protect yourself? How about if you don't like something, then stay away from it? How about you have kids in a family and raise your kids to believe what you believe? How about if you think something is so bad, keep it out of your life and keep it out of your family's life and raise your children and build your family the way that you choose to. But that doesn't mean everyone else has to believe as you. Fuck. I just never understood this mindset of like, daddy government, protect me from the big bad thing that is destroying all of us. It's ridiculous. Nandy for 20 says massage agent tax. It's not the government's job to protect people. But that's what the government wants people to say. They want they love when people ask the government to protect them. Protect me from this bad thing. Well, are you doing that bad thing that you hate? Well, no, but other people are. So you're not asking us to protect you from it. You're asking us to tell other people to not do the thing that you don't like. That's not the job of the government under any circumstance. Less government is the key. Less, not more. The more involvement in the government, the worse your life will be. Steve Flomo says, Thomas Crooks is a Ukrainian assassin. Director Patel reveals China stuff 2020 U.S. ballots. Epstein revealed to work with Obama, Clinton, Putin to stop Trump in 2016 and 2020. I saw that. We're going to try to get into that. Anjanette with a gifted membership. Thank you. Blinded by a black hole for $1. Thank you. Spartan says, give more money. Okay. You see how that works? Someone else asked for it, not me. So you can't accuse me. I didn't ask for it. Someone else did in the chat. I'm not the grifter. I'm just highlighting someone else's comments. Little Jim's Halo says, shut up and take my money. Brain Rot says, black hole tax. Blinded by a black hole says black hole tax. Damn you. Maitu says 2 years. 2 years, brother. Anjanette says take my highly offended money. BS Warren says Illinois Department of Transportation hats out there, but I'll roll with it. What are the means, if not the spirit of the 199 preserving? What's up, BS Warren? Well, okay, so if you got to look, there's so many, there's articles and everything about like the lore. There's so much Geeks and Gamers lore out there that even I can't keep up with this shit. Big Who for 10 says, here's a little something that you totally didn't grift. Hail to you, brother. Thank you so much. Drew Barr says, hi, we're from the government and we're here to help. Words that never benefit another human being. 100%. Midnight Light says, love you, Jeremy, in chat. Please get the audience riled up over Hostess snacks. Maybe have Geeks and Gamers do a snack rating. Zebra cakes are forever goated. I don't want to say anything controversial because I'm not a controversial person and I like to respect everyone's opinions and beliefs. But fudge rounds are the #1 Little Debbie cake. And I think that's pretty much a fact. I don't even think anyone's going to disagree with that. Like fudge rounds are #1. And then frosted fudge cakes are #2. And I'm pretty sure everybody's going to agree with me. So I don't think anybody's going to disagree because that's not how the internet works. My chat is always 100% supportive of all of my opinions. I see all of you in the chat right now saying, yes, Jeremy, you're correct. Okay, well, there's one person that disagreed, but everyone else is agreeing with me. I saw one person, and they're like, somebody said they respectfully disagree with me. But only one person. That's the only one I saw. So, but I do like zebra cakes. I do. And I gotta say, Christmas tree cakes are pretty damn good. All right. Ooh, Swiss cake rolls. Swiss cake rolls are pretty freaking good. Swiss cake rolls are amazing. Yes, they are. I'm sorry. No, they're bad. And we need the government to ban all of these Little Debbie cakes because they're killing people and they're making people fat. And we have to get the government to ban them because it's so bad. It's terrible. It's destroying society. Olympian Products says, are we still arguing about corn after the black hole incident yesterday? Have we learned nothing, Figs? I'm not trying to see that again. Neither am I. Operation 1968 says, are you still thinking of visiting Israel? Still waiting to treat you to a swig of apple juice. I did, and I got kicked out. So I don't think I'm allowed back in. But LP says, stop picking on Jeremy. He's a cutie pie. Hey! See that? We may only have about a 5% female audience, but they say nice things about me. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, Trump entertaining invading Nigeria under the pretense of protecting Christians reminds me of Bush invading Afghanistan to protect women. Big mistake. Hangry is Angry says, raisin cakes, man, or oatmeal cookie sandwiches. Oatmeal cookie sandwiches are good. All right, let's get into our top story. So yesterday, Tucker Carlson dropped a pretty big story on Twitter and got a lot of people talking. And then the FBI rapid response decided to respond to him, which was very strange. So Tucker Carlson dropped this. The FBI told us Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump. Let's see. The FBI told us Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump last summer, but somehow had no online footprint. The FBI lied, and we can prove it because we have his post. The question is why? Story tomorrow. Now, the FBI rapid response retweeted this and says, this FBI never said that. Well, today, Tucker Carlson dropped a pretty insane video titled, Who is Thomas Crooks? And I got to say, this is incredibly bad for the FBI. And the reason is because this is information that they should have been releasing. Even now, like this opens up a ton of questions. This is a very, very big story. that is alarming in many ways. And it kind of shows you how insane things are. Because we've asked the question, like, how do we not know anything about this person? Tucker Carlson has a lot of the answers right here.
These are videos the FBI has worked hard to make sure you haven't seen. They're from the Google Drive account of Thomas Crooks, the man who on July 13th, 2024, showed up at the Butler County, Pennsylvania fairgrounds and tried to assassinate the frontrunner, Donald Trump.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
That day, Thomas
Still one of the single most incredible moments, scary moments, terrifying moments, iconic moments, whatever you want to call it. Like that moment right there. Wow. And unfortunately, we did lose Corey Comparatori, I think, or Comparator is how you say it, that day, protecting his family. Wow. It's an incredible moment.
Crooks came within a quarter inch of destroying this country. And yet, a year and a half later, we still know almost nothing about him or why he did it. That's because, for some reason, the FBI, even the current FBI, doesn't want us to know.
What's up?
Since the start of their investigation, the FBI has claimed that Thomas Crooks acted alone and that he was a virtual ghost online with no presence at all. Their only substantive claim about Crooks's motive was that he was a right-winger. We learned that from FBI Deputy Director Paula Bate, who said this to Congress just 1 month after the attempted assassination.
Local leftists in my chat. Interesting you say something like this, but local leftist says, thank you, or says, Jeremy and those in the chat would turn on Anne Frank for being illegal. Thank you, Jeremy, for showing us your face so we know exactly who you are. Interesting comment as we're going to be watching this video on Thomas Crooks. Interesting. That's why we have people monitoring the chat for stuff like that at all times. And you'll understand why as we get deeper into this video.
Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature.
The social media account Abate was describing was Crooks's YouTube comments. When the FBI made that claim, we had to take his word for it. We have no way to check, but now we do. In September, we obtained hundreds of comments from Thomas Crooks's YouTube account. Since then, we've gone to great lengths to verify that they're real. We can now confidently say they are. These are genuine, written by Thomas Crooks. But although Crooks's comments are interesting and give tremendous insight into why he did it, they're not the only story. The other story, in fact, the far more significant story, involves the government, the DOJ, and the FBI, which have hidden from the public what they know about Thomas Crooks. The purpose of this report is to reveal details of Crooks's social media accounts and to confront a series of key questions. Why is the FBI keeping Crooks's views a secret? Why are they ignoring congressional subpoenas to divulge information? Why are they pretending that there's nothing to see here?
Wonder if he realizes Florida is a stand your ground state. Pretty sure Jeremy carries. Only one way to find out.
And more than anything, what are they hiding? Before we present our findings, it's critical to establish how we obtained the comments and how we know they're real. In late September, we received a tip from a source. He told us he'd gain access to some of Thomas Crooks's accounts.
Daniel, I know it's in the video. Like, it's in the video. Calm down. I know you don't like Tucker, but it's in the video. Not specifically donated to Biden, but he was a massive Trump supporter, and then through COVID, he became a deranged leftist. It's in the video. Settle down.
He'd found these accounts by utilizing tools commonly used by private investigators. The key lead was Thomas Crooks's phone number. That was published in documents obtained by America First Legal. That phone number led our source to Thomas Crooks's primary email account, tmcrooks7@gmail.com. That in turn, he linked with more than a dozen other accounts. That list includes 2 foreign encrypted email accounts, AmericanGamer@gmx.com, a German website, and bcook@mailfence.com, a Belgian website. Crooks had a Snapchat, Tom_Crooks19, a Venmo.
This video is so well put together, and if this video doesn't get tens of millions of views, you know that it's going to be suppressed by YouTube because it's so well edited, it's so well put together. But do you know what's going to get 100 million views? Mr. Beast garbage. This is a damn good video.
Account, Thomas-Crooks12, a PayPal account under the alias Rod Swanson, a Zelle registered as Thomas Crooks, as well as accounts on Discord, a Google Play account called Colossal Microwave, a Quizlet titled Thomas_Crooks, a chess.com with the same name, and 2 disabled Quora accounts under the handles Thomas Crooks 8 and Thomas Crooks 3. It turns out that Thomas Crooks was hardly an online ghost. He was active, and yet federal investigators lied and told us there was no trace of him online. Some of Crooks's accounts, like his Snapchat, appear to have been fully deactivated and completely taken out of use. Some of them may have been unused or cleared by federal officials during the investigation. We don't know because the FBI wouldn't tell us. However, our source was able to retrieve all data from Thomas Crooks's deactivated YouTube account, Tom Crooks 2178. Visible.
Why is Tucker Carlson the one that's telling us about this and not our own FBI? How is this possible?
To other users as Tom Crooks. This account includes his search history, his watch history, and 737 public comments. Another critical account, his Google Drive, is linked to an archive of Crooks's YouTube account. That's where our source obtained the videos of Crooks dry firing a handgun in his bedroom with paper targets on the wall behind him. But aside from the video evidence, the email addresses, and the phone number tying Crooks to the account, or the fact that most of these accounts use his actual name, there are other key details that support the authenticity of what we found. For example, this video's metadata shows it was filmed at Thomas Crooks's parents' home. And some of Crooks's YouTube comments are still available on Internet Archive sites. Crooks's YouTube channel was suspended on July 14th, 2024. That's the day after the shooting. Its offense, quote, violating YouTube's policy on violent criminal organizations. And though Crooks's comments are no longer available on YouTube, in many cases, the commenters who responded to Crooks are still there, and they match.
Interesting how our buddy who is making interesting comments that seem like threats suddenly starts disappearing when Tucker starts bringing up how we've got some YouTube comments that are being tracked. So everything, all the potential threats that you might be putting out there, easy to track. It's funny how you disappear suddenly when this part of the video comes up. Just interesting.
It's what we see on the Internet Archive sites. When you click on their tags of Crooks's accounts, YouTube takes you to a page that says, this channel was removed because it violated our community guidelines. In other words, there is ample evidence to support the authenticity of these posts. Our source figured it out. So did we. But when we reached out directly to the FBI to ask why the Bureau hadn't shared any details from the account with the public, the FBI responded by questioning whether we could verify the authenticity of the account. We were confused by this, considering the authenticity is self-evident. And of course, the FBI would have known that since the day of the shooting. What exactly is the FBI hiding? Here's what we do know. The digital comments we obtained were posted between 2019 and 2020, when Thomas Crooks was between 15 and 17 years old. They show two things. First, that Thomas Crooks was not some secretive lone wolf who never warned anyone that he was planning violence, just the opposite. Years before he showed up in Butler, Crooks was leaving a detailed digital trail of violent threats, including calls for assassinations and political violence. Second, they show a man who started out as a radical Trump supporter, whose views on the president changed completely during COVID. The FBI.
It's interesting how they don't want to highlight that this person was radicalized through COVID, which COVID did a lot of damage to this country, did a lot of damage to the world, but specifically this country. Like, it did significant damage in how it made people kind of just shift their thinking. It put people in depression. It made people lose their jobs. It kept people away from their families. It took kids out of school. It stopped people from going to the gym. It did unbelievable damage that we're still feeling the effects to this day.
Lied about that fact and pretended that Crooks was a right-winger. At 11:35 p.m. on July 19th, 2019, in response to an MSNBC video, Crooks wrote, quote, Ilhan Omar and others are invaders.
Did that guy make a threat against me in the chat? I didn't see it. Did that guy, I'm sure we have people that have got it screenshotted. So, yeah. So anyway, you know.
Should honestly be killed and their dead bodies sent back. At 1:17 a.m. on July 20th, 2019, Crooks commented on a CNN video. He said Donald Trump was the literal definition of patriotism. 7 hours later, he commented on an MSNBC video. He wrote, I hope a quick, painful death to all the deplorable immigrants and anti-Trump congresswomen who don't deserve anything this country has given them. That evening, on a separate MSNBC video, he wrote, quote, every one of the Trump-hating Democrats deserve to have their heads chopped off and put on stakes for the world to see what happens when you fuck with America. These sorts of comments continued for months and became increasingly violent. The following day, Crooks responded to a CBS Evening News video about the squad saying this, quote, this is going to be blatantly racist, but I hope Trump has these people murdered. Crooks openly called for dictatorship and putting, quote, Hispanics back in their place. He warned that if Democrats win in 2020, quote, they won't be in there for long because unlike the Dems, we have guns and lots of them. In one comment.
And so comments like this are something that the left would have loved to run with. But wait, there's more.
And Crooks noted that, quote, 50 million Americans with AR-15s will make quick work of any blockades the government can put in to protect the White House. He left multiple references to Mao Zedong's famous line, the only real political power comes from the barrel of a gun. On September 30th, 2019, Crooks responded to comments about a potential civil war, saying this, most rioters don't bring assault rifles and body armor like we would, and we wouldn't be going to the streets, we'd be going to Washington. At this point, one user named Hyperpandas responded saying, quote, law enforcement will thank you for grouping up and being so visible. It'll make your arrest so much simpler. Crooks responded saying, cops can't arrest me if they're all dead, before adding, even an untrained man with an AR-15 is dangerous. You think Adam Lanza or any school shooter trained? Nope. If you navigate to that YouTube page today, you can still see identical contextual comments and people referring to Thomas Crooks, including one user who wrote this, you're on YouTube threatening to shoot government officials. I sure hope the FBI is monitoring social media for violent nutcases. That exchange is still available on Internet Archive websites. But the FBI didn't see that before the shooting? That's hard to believe.
That is very hard to believe.
On various occasions, Crooks openly said things like, Mueller should be hanged along with the rest of the Democrats involved in that witch hunt. And I always believed being patriotic was lining up a bunch of socialist Jews, like the ones who booed Trump, and blasting their useless brains out with an AR. And yet, in early 2020, Crooks seemed to change radically. On January 23rd of that year, he referred to, quote, Trump's stupidity. He began to mock the concept of the deep state. He suggested...
So anybody that's unhinged enough to say those crazy things in Trump's defense is just right there to flip a switch immediately, because that's why you have to absolutely worry, no matter if someone is on your side or not. Like when someone starts talking about those radical, crazy ideas of hurting people and killing people and all of that, it doesn't matter if they like generally agree with you. It's not a good situation at all. And a type of person that's willing to put that type of stuff online is someone that in a moment, a switch can hit and they can flip, just like this guy did.
It was a code word used by Trump supporters for, quote, anyone who disagrees with the right wing. Suddenly, he sounded like an MSNBC commentator. In February of 2020, he called out Trump supporters as, quote, too brainwashed to realize how dumb you are. I mean, literally, you guys sound like a cult at times. That same day, he called Trump and his supporters, quote, racist. It was an amazing transformation. That April, during the peak phase of the coronavirus lockdowns, Crooks wrote, quote, it seems that you people don't understand that sometimes public safety comes before your personal rights. Are you not willing to quarantine one member of your family to save the rest? If so, you are not a patriot and you aren't protecting anything. Around this time, the new left-wing version of Thomas Crooks became very critical of conservative media. He said at one point, quote, going to a Chinese New Year's party in America isn't putting you at risk for coronavirus because, believe it or not, viruses don't spread through race like Tucker Carlson probably told you. That May, as state officials across the country overhauled election systems to promote mail-in voting, Crooks attacked Republican concerns about voting.
Yeah, now the guy that seemingly threatened me is now trying to say how much he hates liberals. So you are in real time having the same type of unhinged behavior that this person is demonstrating right here. You're doing that in real time in this chat. But I think we should probably just get this person out of here. So because this dude's got problems.
Voter fraud is, quote, ignorant. 4 months later, in August 2020, his tone had shifted even further to the left. He said, quote, I believe the outcome will be irrelevant. In response to the same video, Thomas Crooks issued what sounds a lot like a digital manifesto. Quote, in my opinion, the only way to fight the government is with terrorism-style attacks. Sneak a bomb into an essential building and set it off before anyone sees you. Track down any important people or politicians, military leaders, etc., and try to assassinate them. Any sort of head-to-head fight is suicide, and even ambush or surprise attacks likely aren't going to end well. These remarks were especially notable because they came at the final phase of Crooks's YouTube commenting. At that point, a new character emerged into
and I was always, and this is interesting because I was always told by the mainstream media that it was the right-wing radicalization that sends people off the edge. It's the right-wing radicalization. This seems like left-wing radicalization. And ultimately, it's not about right or left, to be clear. It's about people that need to be helped because they are out of their mind. The problem is that we don't live in a world where the mainstream media likes to address the problem. They like to weaponize one side of the problem so they can build an incorrect narrative about people that don't line up with their views. And this is the danger of the mainstream media and Hollywood and big tech and all of that. Like, there are problems that need to be addressed, regardless of ideology or belief or whatever. But the media only wants to address it from one kind of narrow-minded tunnel vision perspective so that they can build their incorrect narrative.
The conversation. A user named Willie Tepes, who started pressuring Crooks to commit violence. For example, quote, if a gun and a badge is all that is needed, then authority obviously comes from the barrel of a gun. We have more guns than they do. There is no way we can avoid a war at this point. So you better just get used to the idea. We have nothing to lose and everything to win. And the alternative, a global police state, is unacceptable. Nothing in life is simple, but that is no argument against doing it. So who is this Willie Tepes? Unfortunately, we don't know. The FBI hasn't made any mention of him in public, although they certainly know he exists. Just days after the shooting, somebody screenshotted Tepes's YouTube account page, despite the fact he had very few followers. To the extent that he can be traced online now, you can find his username being used on a foreign Antifa website. Those sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know. We do know, however, that Crooks's online footprint abruptly ends.
Aren't they supposed to be rolling out country of origin on Twitter? So whenever you comment, your country of origin is supposed. So, like, for instance, if you super chat, it'll say where your currency's from, so you kind of at least have an understanding of where somebody's from. But, like, aren't they supposed to be doing that on Twitter, rolling that out? Because I do feel that we are in a situation where there are so many people online that are building narratives about the United States and about the West that they've never been here. Shout out to Ian Miles Chong, someone who talks about American politics all day long, and he's never even fucking been here. You know, I hear that's what they're supposed to start doing, though, on Twitter, but I don't even know if it's going to be an option or what. I haven't heard any updates about that.
After his encounter with this mysterious figure, Willie Tepes. Regardless of whoever Willie Tepes is or was and what his motives may have been, who he may have been working for, there is no doubt that Crooks was ripe for recruitment by someone. From early 2019 to mid-2020, as his political views.
Jake says, X, you mean? No, Jake, you said a few minutes ago I'm going soft because of my long hair, but no, I'm dead naming Twitter. And if that offends you, that's your problem. It's Twitter, and it's always going to be Twitter. I will dead name the fuck out of it. But if you want to call Ellen Page Elliott, go right ahead. But it's Ellen fucking Page, and it's Twitter.
Were evolving. Crooks searched for Trump more than 700 times online. He also searched for Jack Ruby, the man who assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. He then submitted queries for craziest chemical reactions, cars running over protesters, best places for mass shooting El Paso, Trump Civil War, Orlando shooting reaction, firing an AR-15 as fast as possible, fertilizer bomb, how to make napalm, how to make a Molotov cocktail, mass shooting Canada, Oklahoma bombing, and sniper in Dallas shooting. He also searched for American Nazi Party, German National Anthem 1933-1945, Hitler's speeches with subtitles, neo-Nazis, and, quote, why gays need to go.
Hate to brag, but we're pretty confident.
I didn't mean to laugh at that, but it was funny. Here's Tucker's ad read right here. Let's see.
Thank you. So here you have a volatile, troubled, possibly mentally ill young man with a long record of espousing.
I do respect the grift, by the way. So there's the ad read right there. So here it is. Let's let him get the final comments in. We do have to respect the grift, okay?
Did money on clinics or visit fees, unlimited visits and follow-ups for no extra cost, plus free shipping on all products for up to 5 pets. It sounds amazing, like it couldn't be real, but it actually is real. Visit Dutch.com/Tucker to learn more. Use the code Tucker for $50 off your veterinary care per year. Your dogs, your cats, and your wallet will thank you.
So here you have a volatile, troubled, possibly mentally ill young man with a long record of espousing violence in public. The FBI clearly knew he existed. And then you have, at the very end of his years commenting in public, espousing violence, in exchange with a mysterious figure affiliated with a group that we know is being monitored by the U.S. State Department. It turns out that around the same time that Thomas Crooks was making these searches and posting overt threats of violence against public figures on YouTube, the FBI was issuing contracts to private sector tech surveillance firms to harness the power of mass data collection tools that would monitor social media for people just like Thomas Crooks. It's hard to imagine that Thomas Crooks, who was making these posts publicly and in his own name, had not been identified and looked at closely by federal law enforcement. In fact, it's impossible to imagine. What do we know?
Jenna for $100 says, here, go get checked for rabies since you've decided to acknowledge the rabid trolls. I have entertained them a little more than normal today, haven't I? I have. Thank you, Jenna. Hail to you. Good to see you here. I have acknowledged them a little more than normal. You're right. I'll hold off.
Well, we know that the FBI had access to these YouTube comments, and rather than giving us valuable information about them, giving us a sense of why Thomas Crooks did what he did, they used a selective read of those comments to lie about what Thomas Crooks was thinking. 2.5 weeks after the attack on July 30th, a source familiar with the investigation told CNN that, quote, federal investigators are looking into a YouTube account possibly connected to Crooks in which the user espoused political violence as well as anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes. Well, of course, it wasn't possibly connected to Thomas Crooks, as the FBI knew full well it was Thomas Crooks's account. There was never any question about that. And yet the same day, the FBI's then deputy director made the same dishonest claim before Congress. The week previous, then FBI Director Christopher Wray publicly questioned whether Trump was even shot.
With respect to,
I remember this. I remember because he talks about shrapnel, and this was a narrative that the left started to build a lot, where and then you started to see all of the zombies online running with it, that it was all just a setup. Like it was all, they set the whole thing up, and then you're like, dude, somebody died. Literally, someone died. There is a father that died, a husband that died, and these idiots, these pronouns and bio idiots, just ran with this BS.
former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear.
In February 2025, the New York Post reported that, quote, the FBI has obstructed efforts to solve the mystery of why Thomas Matthew Crooks, who left no manifesto, did what he did. And this fact, said the Post, left local law enforcement as well as Crooks's former friends, classmates, and teachers frustrated. The level of lying and obstruction is shocking. Less than a month after the shooting, Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a former police officer, traveled to Butler to conduct his own investigation into what happened. When he arrived, he discovered a disturbing fact. The FBI released Crooks's body for cremation 10 days after July 13th. This wasn't known to the public until Higgins arrived in Butler on August 5th.
There's a lot of things out there that you could chalk up to being like sensationalized and all of that. I think that this is a serious situation that if you just are looking at this as objectively as possible, you should be beyond frustrated that we are here over a year now removed from this. Trump won the election. His FBI is in place, and none of these questions have been answered. None of these details have been made widely public. Why? Explain this. We at 100%, Jay Gomez, we the people need to know. We need to know. We need answers. We deserve answers. This was the biggest story we have seen to date outside of probably 9/11, when the former president of the United States and the front runner to become president of the United States again with an assassination attempt on national TV. And then not long after, I can't remember how much longer it was, that he had another assassination attempt in Florida. And like, I went to the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, I think is where it was. So right after, a few days after this assassination attempt, I was there. And I remember being a little uneasy because I'm like, I don't know what the hell's about to happen, but I would anticipate that security is probably going to be higher than, than normal. And it absolutely was. And so it's, here we are with no answers, no details, no nothing.
5th, when the coroner told the congressman, quote, he would never have released Crooks's body to the family for cremation or burial without specific permission from the FBI. The timing of Crooks's cremation is notable. The day Crooks's body was burned was also the day the House Homeland Security and Oversight Committees had begun their investigations into the shooting. The fact the body was cremated made it impossible for investigators outside the FBI to verify the coroner and autopsy report. You can't do a new tox screen because the body doesn't exist. According to Higgins, quote, this action by the FBI.
And here's what's the problem with the whole story here is that there's going to be a lot of anti-Tucker people that are going to be trying to poke holes in everything Tucker is saying here. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, like you should be asking questions from all perspectives. The bottom line is what's more concerning? Maybe Tucker having a few things that he overlooked or maybe over dramatized in this story, or the fact that our own FBI has not given us these answers yet. I think it's far worse that our own FBI hasn't done anything yet.
FBI can only be described by any reasonable man as an obstruction to any following investigative effort. Another notable detail is that photos from the day after the shooting show an FBI agent hosing down the site where Crooks died. High-level intelligence officials and congressional sources told us this is very strange, and that the FBI usually hires out crime.
Somebody in the chat says you have problems, lol. And? I mean, are you breaking news? Literally everybody that watches me knows that I have problems. So what problems specifically are you talking about? Because there's a laundry list of problems I have. So which specifically? You got to be more specific, bro. Come on.
Scene cleanup to third-party contractors. But in this case, they did it themselves, leaving no blood and no tissue for anyone else to analyze. In the photo, the agent's shirt says he's from the Technical Hazards Response Unit, a unit that collects traditional forensic evidence contaminated with hazardous materials.
Oh, not you, Jeremy. I'm referring to the Rye guy saying it's always the Jews. Oh, okay. Fuck. Well, I do have a lot of problems, though, to be fair.
Materials. After the shooting, the FBI sent Crooks's phone to the Bureau's laboratory at Quantico, Virginia. Agents there were able to open it in less than 40 minutes using technology from an Israeli tech firm called Celebrate. According to the Post, FBI officials who served under President Joe Biden accessed Crooks's phone, computer, and his encrypted messaging apps in Belgium, New Zealand, and Germany. Yet none of the online activity the FBI has discovered was referred to in any way in the final congressional report that was released in December of 2024.
By the way, why do we still know nothing about that guy in Butler? What's going on?
That was a good question, a question that most people thought would be answered by the new administration. Within weeks of retaking office, Donald Trump told the New York Post's Miranda Devine that he had, quote, ordered the Secret Service on Friday to provide him every bit of information about his two would-be assassins.
You've had two assassination attempts. One, obviously, where you got hit by that bullet in Butler. There's a lot of frustration that we still don't know about that shooter in Butler. And we don't know about his communications. We get stonewalled all the time asking questions about it. Is there frustration on your part? Will we get transparency? Will we know the bottom line story?
It's very interesting because we have great people. I think Pam is incredible. I think Cash is incredible. And they're doing a great job. They're being recognized as doing a great job.
You're the president. Can't you find out?
No, I know. I'm relying on my people to tell me what it is.
But his people insist there's nothing there, and they don't seem interested in finding out more.
How come we don't have more information on the assassination attempts on President Trump?
Trump said it himself. I'm relying on my people to tell me what's going on. And they are not doing that. And I remember this interview right here because Dan Bongino says that he wishes that they had more information to give us. And it's like, dude, I talk to a lot of people that don't understand the online world every day. Very smart people, very successful people, and they just don't understand this world. They don't get it. You know, there's just so many random things about the online world that your average person doesn't understand. Do you know who does understand the online world? Dan Bongino understands the online world. Dan Bongino had one of the biggest shows on the entire internet. He knows about the internet. He knows about optics. He knows how everything plays. He knows how people overreact to certain things. He knows this world extremely well. So does Kash Patel, maybe to a lesser extent, but Bongino certainly knows it. So for Bongino to say what he says right here in this interview is absolutely unacceptable. So it leads people to the speculation that these guys have been compromised. I'm not saying that they have, but it certainly leads people to ask those questions and make those assumptions. And I think it's a fair assumption when we've seen how they behave prior to getting in these positions. Listen right here.
There's two reasons to open ongoing prosecutions. But we have personally invested our time in making sure that we have looked at any possible international connections to terrorism and adversaries alike. And we've both been down to Quantico. We've both done the laboratory testing. We've both seen the explosives analysis. We've both seen the firearm and physically held it. We are all in on these investigations.
Are we going to be surprised at what you learned?
You know what, Maria? Kash is not kidding.
This is what I'm talking about right here. This is a this is a weird answer. Again, she says, are people going to be surprised at what you've learned?
And my people to tell me.
On the assassination attempts on President Trump.
There's two reasons to open ongoing prosecutions. But we have personally invested our time in making sure that we have looked at any possible international connections to terrorism and adversaries alike. And we've both been down to Quantico. We've both done the laboratory testing. We've both seen the explosives analysis. We've both seen the firearm and physically held it. We are all in on these investigations.
Are we going to be surprised at what you learned?
You know what, Maria? Kash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single detail, nugget, tendril of this case. One is actively in court right now. So out of respect for the case, it's probably more appropriate that I stay quiet on that. However, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. And whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a Secret Service agent, and my personal friendship as a director does with the president, give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have. If you can think of one, there isn't. In some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there.
What a baffling thing to say.
I want to like Bongino and Kash. I really do. But that answer is just not, that's not a good answer, man. It's a terrible answer.
Thomas Crooks is dead, of course. There was no trial against Thomas Crooks. And by the way, they weren't misspeaking. This wasn't an accident. We know that because the director of the FBI said the same thing once again under oath in front of Congress in September.
When your predecessor sat right there in that seat, couple of years, last year in a committee hearing, I asked him a very detailed question about Matthew Thomas Crooks, the shooter responsible for the assassination attempt on President Trump's life. I did get an answer from Chris Wray that day, and I submitted written questions to the FBI and into the record of this committee. And I want to resubmit those questions today because I think we are still awaiting answers to those questions. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit them for the record, please. I'd like to ask you, sir, and the FBI, under your leadership, would you please respond to these questions, and can you commit to doing that?
As soon as the trial's over.
But if it's true that there's nothing here, then the FBI has a very strange way of showing it. In July of 2024, a bipartisan group of senators led by Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin sent a letter, quote, requesting records related to the July 13th, 2024 assassination attempt. Fully a year later, the FBI still had not responded. What is this about? This summer, Senator Johnson issued a new subpoena, noting that, quote, nearly a year after the assassination attempt and the initiation of the subcommittee's investigation, the FBI has repeatedly failed to produce the subcommittee records and information critical to its investigation. In the subpoena, they demanded pictures and images related to the assassination, video footage, forensic reports, records related to FBI interviews, and notably, all records referring or relating to any of Thomas Crooks's electronic devices, digital or financial accounts, or online search history.
What are you telling us?
And this is where it's like, it feels like the same story, even though you have a different, administration now. It feels like the same type of behavior. It feels like the same mindset from one FBI to the next. Doesn't feel like anything's changed.
I am totally unsatisfied. I am totally unsatisfied. You had a person with a modern rifle, modern scoped rifle at 130 yards who shot at the former commander-in-chief of the United States and a guy who was going to be, by all accounts at that point, the future commander-in-chief. And then they tried to kill my father 8 weeks later, at his golf course in Palm Beach County, a golf course that I run every single day. I am totally unsatisfied that we have one picture of that shooter. The guy looks like he was 14 years old in the picture. We know nothing about him. We know nothing about him, right? And I am totally unsatisfied with the result. And I think a lot of America is unsatisfied with the result. And I think we better get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
Are you telling me there's a conspiracy here that you believe that Eric Trump believes resulted in the assassination attempt?
Yes, I think they tried to kill my father because they did not want his voice on that stage.
Unfortunately, the reality is...
Now, this part that they're about to talk about, if everything that Tucker Carlson, and maybe it's already been revealed and I just wasn't aware of it, but everything that Tucker Carlson reveals right here in this next segment, this is all confirmed. This is all true. This is fucking terrifying. The title was Thomas Crook's Lucky Day. Now, I know a lot of these details were, but some of these things I have not heard what he's about to talk about.
The FBI, as of today, is not only stonewalling, but is actively preventing an honest look at what happened in Butler. Within days of the shooting, FBI agents collected all the relevant surveillance footage. That includes footage from local businesses, the state police, and critically, the gun range where Thomas Crooks trained. Did he train alone? We don't know, because to this day, the FBI refuses to release the footage. They confirmed it exists. They confirmed the existence of one gaming account, and then publicly said a few days later the account wasn't real. Was that incompetence, or are they lying? Within a day of the shooting, the social media companies that hosted Crooks's comments took his accounts offline. In some cases, the records of those comments in the Internet Archive were also erased. Did the FBI order that too? What we do know is that on the day of the attacks, Thomas Crooks got extremely lucky.
I don't think anyone, and Candace is wrong for investigating Charlie Kirshner. I don't think anyone said she's wrong. I think people are frustrated that she makes so many insane assumptions and direct and indirect accusations without backing them up with absolutely anything. That is why people are frustrated. No one is saying she's wrong for investigating. People are saying she's wrong for all the shit that she's saying without having anything to back it up. She says a lot of shit without backing it up. A lot of shit. And she's free to do that, but that's why people are frustrated with her.
Miraculously lucky. After he arrived at the Butler County Fairgrounds on the morning of the shooting, Thomas Crooks conducted surveillance by flying his drone over the rally site. He flew that drone for 11 minutes. It just so happened the Secret Service's anti-drone system were down at exactly the same moment.
Do you want to repeat that one more time, Tucker? You want to repeat that one more time, Tucker? For the people in the back, listen closely.
Thomas Crooks conducted surveillance by flying his drone over the rally site. He flew that drone for 11 minutes. It just so happened the Secret Service's anti-drone system were down at exactly the same moment.
Bro. I will just say, if this is true, just wait, because there's so many pieces to the puzzle.
What are the odds? Later that afternoon, police officers saw Crooks loitering with a backpack and a rangefinder. They identified him as a suspicious person, which he clearly was, but quickly lost track of him. And so Crooks...
Okay, so I know we have the internet detectives in the chat. People are like, we already knew this. Shut the fuck up. We didn't know everything that Tucker Carlson has pieced together. It's about the whole entire scope of the situation. It's about the online footprint. It's about the radicalization, how this dude went from a unhinged Trump supporter to an unhinged leftist, and how we have not had that all pieced together for us. It's about understanding how the former FBI and the current FBI seemingly are the same FBI. It's about putting all of that together, then leading us to this point to where now you're putting all of this other stuff that we heard, and it creates a massive story of questions. It's not about, well, I knew this, or I knew that thing. It's about putting the whole story together. This is the TikTok world of people. We're like, bro, I already knew that, bro. It's like, shut the fuck up. Go watch TikTok.
Climbed to the top of the American Glass Research Building. That happened to be the only building in the area that did not have a video surveillance system. It was also, remarkably, inexplicably, outside the Secret Service's security perimeter, despite the fact it was very close to the stage. 2 local police officers assigned to the building saw Crooks, but they didn't report him. A third officer who was supposed to be there left early. At 6:11.
Well, Tucker, I already knew that. So sorry, bro. I'm not going to watch your video anymore because I knew that, bro. Tucker, we already knew that one piece of information, bro.
7 p.m., Crooks opened fire from the rooftop.
Take a look at what happened.
Within the vacuum left by the FBI and its total unwillingness to explain what had happened, the media were able to leverage the shooting to serve its own political ends. On ABC, we learned that this happened because white men own guns.
It was, a 20-year-old lone wolf, white whack job with easy access to a gun. And
it's interesting. I wonder if what is her name? Anna Navarro? Is that her name? And by the way, Anna Navarro has had TDS since as soon as Trump started to flirt with the idea of running. This chick has been unhinged as hell. But it's interesting that she said a whacked out white guy. Okay. Be interesting if you use that same language with a different race.
we have to have a conversation about that.
And within days of the shooting, U.S. intelligence officials started leaking about a supposed plot by the Iranian government to kill Trump. There was never any evidence, but if you were planning a regime change war against Iran, you might claim otherwise.
Let me read to you this breaking news that we are reporting from 3 U.S. officials who have been briefed on the matter. The U.S. obtained intelligence in recent weeks about an Iranian plot to assassinate Donald Trump.
Well, I do remember this part. And again, by the logic of the TikTok kids, then the whole thing is discounted now because we already knew this. But as I say, the whole point is now that we're seeing the whole picture and we learn about this story that we were already aware of with the story about the Iranian plot. Again, what do they make us, when they make us look in this direction, what are they trying to make us stop thinking about? Why do you want us to look in that direction? The official narrative is, oh, it's an Iranian plot. So it's like, what are they trying to make us not pay attention to?
The stonewalling, the lying, the persistent unwillingness to explain anything. All of it makes you wonder, what are they hiding? If the leadership of the FBI and the DOJ had any desire whatsoever to prove to the public that there's in fact nothing there, they could do that. But first they would have to answer these questions. Was Thomas Crooks known to federal law enforcement before the shooting? Was he known to local law enforcement before the shooting? And if...
Oh my God. Why does Trump want to redirect our attention? Epstein files. What is he hiding? Yeah, man. You're good. Correct. What is he hiding?
Not, why not? Who is Willie Tepes, and was he known to federal law enforcement? Is Willie Tepes linked to any violent organizations? Is he linked to any governments? And if so, then around the time of the shooting, did the FBI have assets inside those organizations? If Crooks wasn't known to anyone in authority before the shooting, how was he able to post hundreds of violent extremist comments under his real name between 2019 and 2020 without being detected by law enforcement or intel agencies at a time we know they were monitoring social media? Were those comments, including specific assassination threats against specific public officials, ever reported to YouTube? Other users complained about them. Did YouTube know? Why is the FBI telling us that they'll release this information, quote, after the trial, when there is no trial? Why did an FBI...
It's true. Like, what trial? They do keep bringing up that that they can't comment on this because of the trial, but that is what trial? Has there ever been a trial that has stopped them from commenting on this? I don't know of a trial. What trial are we talking about?
Agent from the Technical Hazards Response Unit hosed down the crime scene the day after the attack. That seems very strange. What happened on the roof of the American Glass Research Building for the 10 seconds after Crooks's last shot until he was killed by the Secret Service? Does the FBI have surveillance footage of Thomas Crooks' shooting that day? Was the FBI present at the medical examiner's autopsy? Are there still blood samples? Can they be examined by outside authorities? When Congress demanded the autopsy, did the FBI restrict what the examiner could tell the Congress? When the FBI cleared the coroner to release Crooks's body for cremation, did they keep tissue samples, brain tissue samples, spinal cord samples, or spinal fluid samples? Law enforcement sources told us that in a typical investigation in a crime of this nature, it would be normal to preserve all of that, those samples. If the FBI didn't, why not? And who made that decision to destroy what could be critical evidence in an attempted murder case? FBI agents went to the same gun range that Thomas Crooks was using. Who were those agents, and did any of them at any time have any contact with Thomas Crooks? Who did he train with exactly, and why can't we know? Was Thomas Crooks taking drugs that might have turned up on the toxicology report, but that weren't listed somehow?
Like, these are the most basic questions that we should be able to have information to. Why not? Again, the former president of the United States of America and the front runner for the Republican nominee, or no, he was the front runner for presidency at that time because he was already the Republican nominee. So the Republican nominee, the front runner to become president again, the most famous human being on the planet. And we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing. Holy shit, I've been exposed. I've been trying to keep it secret, but a random account says Jeremy's Mossad. Fuck! Dude, I've been trying to keep it a secret. I can't keep it a secret when you say it in my chat and I highlight it for everyone to see. How do you expect me to keep it a secret?
On what date specifically did FBI agents stop investigating Thomas Crooks's online presence? Why did the former deputy director of the FBI, Paul Abate, suggest to Congress that Crooks was a right-winger when he clearly wasn't? Was the FBI aware of Crooks's public comments before the shooting, many of which are openly violent, that included specific assassination attempts involving public officials? Who was Thomas Crooks in communication with in the days before the attack? What does his burner phone show? And in fact, why did he have a burner phone and encrypted foreign email accounts? Who are the government officials trying to link Iran to the shooting? Why did the FBI suggest that he had no digital footprint in the first place when the FBI had a great deal of evidence, hundreds and hundreds of comments from his digital activity? And what's on the other dozen accounts that the FBI clearly had access to? How long had Thomas Crooks been planning to commit an assassination? If there's nothing there, if they tell you this is just a lone nut who gave no indication he might do this, then what is stopping the FBI from at least giving the facts to Congress? Because if there's nothing there, These should be very easy questions to answer.
I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be pissed off at Tucker Carlson right now. And the right-wing response, the conservative influencer class, I'm very interested how they're going to respond to this video. Right now, this video has 383,000 views in 7 hours. It's probably tracking well over that. It's probably around 500,000 with real-time views. So I'll be very interested to see how this plays out with the influencers, because obviously you have a lot of people that are anti-Tucker Carlson right now. You have the pro-Tucker Carlson side. So, like, this is, I think this is a very important story, regardless as to where you land on Tucker Carlson. And I think a lot of people hopefully should start talking about this. And if there are holes to poke in what Tucker is saying, I welcome that as well. But the conversation being started is the crucial part of it. And I want to see how this conversation kind of moves it beyond that. But I thought it's a great video. Chat, or mods, you can link it in the chat. So if people want to go check it out for themselves, because obviously, you know, we went through the whole thing, but I think it's a very good video. I'm interested to see, like, let's go to the comments section. Where's the comments? Here we go. So, I've learned more about Thomas Crooks Butler County in this 34 minutes than I've learned from the feds in the last 16 months. Here, let's enhance that a little bit so everybody can read it. Let's see. The only truth we know about our government is that it's full of lies. Suspicious that they let an Israeli tech firm first crack at the data. Did we know that? Was that in there? This is the purest form of journalism. When our three-letter agencies are in charge of cleanup, it's their mess they're cleaning up. Actual journalism, amazing. You can add Las Vegas to the list of events we still know nothing about. That's true. That is true. Remember the Vegas shooting? Like, that just completely went away. That went away completely. So, Secret Service was 100% involved with the Trump assassination attempt. 100%. Just like the Charlie Kirk cover-up, I don't trust anyone. Cash and Bongino are obviously scared shitless of some entity. I don't know, man. I mean, you're going to see a lot of pro-Tucker stuff, but either way, very, very interesting. Link is in the chat if you're interested to check more out on that video. I would highly recommend go checking it out. Dropping a like on that video if you can. Let's see where we're at here. Thank you, Jenna, for the $100 super chat. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm interacting with the trolls as much today. It's fun though. Darth Manic says, Jeremy, you're my favorite cream pie. I don't even know what that means. Daniel Moore says, did you cover the furry running for Congress? Also, remember the context I gave for the rapid response in Crooks. Operation says, when did you visit and why were you deported? It was a joke. It's a meme. I'm not, and I have no interest in going. Vlad says, here's for Jeremy, fake offended tax. I like being fake offended. It makes me money. John Jones says, I've noticed a lot of people who backed DeSantis in 2024 primary are now defending H-1B, Ben Shapiro, Bill Mitchell. I'm telling you, man, the pro DeSantis crowd and Democrats are pretty much one and the same. Peter says, hey, Jeremy, have you ever watched Spitting Image Puppet Show? They're pretty clearly anti-Trump, but I still find them hilarious. Hail the 199. I have not. Flag Ninja says, my favorite Christian Bale movie is Terminator Salvation. Changed my mind. Well, I love Terminator Salvation. I think it's a fantastic movie. But, oh, man, my favorite Christian Bale movie, I mean, just a movie with Christian Bale in it is probably The Dark Knight, because I think The Dark Knight is one of the greatest movies ever. My favorite Christian Bale performance is American Psycho, probably. But Equilibrium's up there as well. Mars Bar says that there's no saving the FBI. Fault 95 says CobraCast and Foxu. Kirsha are the most reliable. Unseen Dimensions Let's see. Guns have a use. Porn doesn't. Still an L take. Again, man, like who determines what does and doesn't have a use? Who makes that determination? You think it doesn't, and that's fine. But if the person that's making the decision on porn also believes that guns don't have a use, then guess what? The person that doesn't think porn doesn't have a use may also think guns don't have a use. If you're giving people the power to determine what you can use, then they are going to take the thing that you want to use away at some point. That's the fucking point. Fucking get your head out of your own ass and understand it's not about your personal opinion. It's about giving the power to someone else to determine what you can and can't use. For fuck's sake. Is it Koi says Bondi and Patel need to be replaced immediately. Doubt that'll happen. Why is that? I don't know. Brother for 99 cents. Thank you. Pro bono milky advocate says deport and frank tax. Wild Man says extreme cellular exploitation of civilian phones has been possible since the early 2000s. This info is public. We use it overseas in GWOT, and the government saying otherwise is a lie. Whiskey Niner says haircut fund. If you have the balls to grow a mullet, don't hide it. Hail fig. Blue Eye Scorpio says use your Mossad connections to hook me up with Gal Gadot. Bro, if I had Mossad connections, I'd hook myself up with Gal Gadot. I highlighted this earlier. Jeremy lost his shit for me on me for my first comment about 6 months ago. I fell in love. What? Midnight Light says everybody has a problem. Everybody has problems. 80% don't care and 20% are glad it's you. Les Brown. I love Les Brown and his speeches from the 90s, even if he's a dim. Zwanny 420 says it's true. He is a very sexy Mossad agent. I thought we had already established this. Hail CobraCast, mod lives matter, chat lives matter. Boom. Yeah, but like going back to the porn discussion, it's like I personally don't think alcohol has any use. I think alcohol only brings negativity. That's just my personal opinion. I know that it doesn't. I know that many people find joy out of it and they like going out and getting drunk and getting shit-faced at parties, whatever. I personally think that there is zero positive use for alcohol. I think it only brings negativity to your life. It only destroys. It destroys families. It destroys lives. It makes people make stupid decisions, and I've seen it happen in my life. It doesn't matter what I personally believe. Doesn't mean that someone else should have the power to take that away from people that enjoy it. So me as an individual, I have decided when it comes to my personal life and my personal existence, I don't surround myself with people that drink a lot of alcohol. I just don't. That's not my thing. But if it's your thing, go for it. Forest Beyond the Tree says, I'm not defending the terrible messaging from Cash or Bongino or the FBI, but until your suspect's dead to rights, it's not wise to discuss publicly how dots are being connected out of risk of tipping off a given suspect. Yes and no, but at the same time, Bongino and Cash Patel made it their entire online identity to tell the FBI before them how the FBI should be telling the people everything. So it's the equivalent, like I said, it's the equivalent of me and Gary going to Lucasfilm and walking out and going, Kathleen Kennedy's a great leader, guys. Kathleen Kennedy's an awesome person. And you're like, what? That's not what you said. That's not what you built your entire brand off of. So it's just like they demanded answers of the FBI and then demanded answers of the government. And now they are in that situation. And they're just like, yeah, we can't say anything. Laughing Heifer says the one thing that Tucker didn't bring up, which should be brought up, is that Thomas was in BlackRock, and when he did the assassination, it got scrubbed. That's something that definitely needs to be brought up. Hail to you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Ministry of Wrong Things says, can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but schizo-cope theories don't sound as crazy anymore. Trump is literally turning the Epstein file situation back on the Dems. How does Trump keep doing this? I don't know, man. It is amazing that Trump just has this uncanny ability to do that. Jimmy Ray says, according to Grok, there are 3 pending lawsuits filed for the victims and attendees against the government. Okay. That makes sense. Modest Rat says, la, 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 I can't hear you, Fed, la, la. Patriotic Eagle says, to this day, I still question this. If there was even the slightest bit of danger, why was Trump allowed on stage? I know. Bubba Doom says, keep praying for Trump and the country. By the way, I don't, just because Grok says something, I don't buy. I mean, Grok gets a lot of shit wrong. AI gets a lot of shit wrong. But I just want to note that. Wizardman says, Tucker is about as trustworthy as Dick Cheney. Darth Gavel says, donate all that Mossad money to the chat and we will forgive you. Zach Moore says, Jer, a fanboy, has no ability to be critical of Trump. You're right. I've never criticized Trump, ever. It's never happened. I think Trump has done every single thing correct, and every decision he has ever made has been absolutely perfect. And I have never, ever, on my wonderful, respectable, high production value platform of CobraCast, ever even dared to question any single decision Trump has ever made, and I never will. And you can find no evidence of me ever criticizing Trump. It's never happened. Never happened. I'm glad you called me out on it. Hold me accountable. The horror host says there's a YouTuber called Coop who did a good series of videos on the Vegas shooting. Recommended. JDT199 says, I heard you found the black hole and black matter. I don't want to talk about it. Blinded by the Black Hole says both assassins in BlackRock vids. Modest Rat says, you think Dan and the Hindu are compromised? I do. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I've been exposed though. I've never criticized Trump, and I hope that you guys will always never criticize Trump either. So. But hey, don't forget, we got new merch, and Kristanova put together a new video for all of you. You guys know she's mega excited about the Mario movie, so she decided to put this clip together right here.
And now a special presentation.
I made a masterpiece. What do you think?
Love the colors.
It's trash.
How dare you look at my masterpiece and say that?
I'll burn the skin off your bones!
Get the new Christmas Geeks and Gamers merch that's now available. The last day to purchase these will be November 25th. Grab it before it's gone.
There you have it. So you got a link right there in the description. And again, Unit 199 Cultural Task Force, our Die Hard Christmas shirt. And if we sell enough, I will anoint Die Hard a Christmas movie, even though it's not a Christmas movie. If we sell enough, I will have to officially say it is a Christmas movie. So we'll see what happens. Ministry of All Things says FNT is supposed to start in 20 minutes, Jeremy. So you only have an hour left to get ready. I will be on FNT. Solid Metal Snake says, what did the leftists say about Donald Trump winning all the time? He can't keep getting away with this. Stream Hero says, I got Hulk Hogan CobraCast shirt. Only took 3 months. Fuck Teespring. Glad you're doing merch through Ripperson. Same here, man. There's still many items I still have not gotten. I haven't got my Hulk Hogan CobraCast t-shirt. It's fucking pisses me off. It pisses me off. Yeah, I'm happy with Ripperson and what we're doing over there. So, but yeah, I'm going to do another CobraCast tonight. So, and then we're doing a gaming stream after that. And I am playing Black Ops 7 multiplayer with several of the guys. So we're going to try it out and see how it is. I don't know what to expect. I literally forgot it was coming out until last night when we were playing Fortnite, and somebody had brought it up. So I was like, well, let's give it a try. Let's see what it is. We'll go from there. Isaac of the Dead says, in spite of the fact that he lives to glaze Trump, Jeremy is one of the most level-headed folks online. That's not good. It's not good. If I'm the voice of reason, then we are fucked. And I've always said that. That's not a good thing. Jeremy has never criticized Trump. He also never showed a black hole on stream. You're playing that slop hypocrite much? Yes. And let me ask you a question. What type of device are you posting from right now? Android, Apple? Are you on an Apple phone or an Android phone? I'm just curious. Do you support every decision they've ever made? Because you're a hypocrite if you do. You need to never do anything so that I can't call you. I won't be able to call you a hypocrite. So would you like to go down this rabbit hole with me right now? Oh, he's mad because I'm not playing Battlefield. Now I won't play Battlefield just in spite of you, because I do have Battlefield and we were talking about playing it this weekend. But now I won't just in spite of you. I was thinking about it, but because of your comment, I am now not going to play Battlefield because of your comment. Just to spite you, I'm going to let the guys know we're canceling the Battlefield stream because one motherfucker had to cry about me playing Black Ops 7. So now, no Battlefield stream. Now, how do you feel? Now you got 2,500 people pissed at you. All you had to do was shut the fuck up. But anyway, let's see. Jay Hailstorm says, don't play Battlefield 6. You'll suck at it. Hailstorm was supposed to play with me too. He's like, damn it. We were going to play. Damn it. Well, Mario Kart. Yeah, we'll play Mario Kart next week. This is why we can't have nice things. Play or don't play. That's on you. No, motherfucker. You're the one that was crying about me playing Call of Duty. Now you're trying to be like, play or don't play. It's on you. You're like, you're playing that, you hypocrite. Yes, a fucking hypocrite. Guess who else is a hypocrite? You and every other motherfucker on the planet. We're all hypocrites because we're all human beings. Every single person living is a hypocrite. Jeremy lets his grift here. Let's say Jeremy lets grift this. Hear him out. Let the DSP flow through you. You know what's funny is that DSP clip, he was crying about Kick. I haven't gotten a gifted membership on Kick in like 4 days, and DSP was livid because he didn't have. DSP had gotten more gifted memberships on his Kick stream than me, and he was threatening his whole Kick chat. No, in all seriousness, so I probably will play Battlefield 6 as well. So I've got Arc Raiders. I bought Arc Raiders. I bought Battlefield day one, and I did get Black Ops 7. So I plan on trying to play all of these. Hailstorm told me he didn't like Arc Raiders, but I think Beardo and X-Wing are going to play it tonight. But I am wanting to play it, check it out. It may not be my cup of tea, but I love the Battlefield beta, and I've played some of Battlefield like offline, not streaming it, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I will be playing that too. So let's see here. Miki plays Ark. Yeah, I heard him playing it. So Arc Raiders is awesome. Proximity chat is great. Yeah, listen, Hailstorm just said it. He hates it. So, but a lot of people are loving Arc Raiders. So it's like a stealth game from what I understand. I don't know. We'll try it out. We'll see. Playing it with people is probably a lot of fun. So, but anyway, all right, we're going to end it there. Friday Night Tights is starting in about 15 minutes. So I need to go get something to drink, and then I'll have another CobraCast tonight, and then we'll move into the gaming stream later. So thank you guys so much. Oh shit. Hang on. We got more. Got that one. Got that one. That one. Modest says, could buy your crap, but rather say you're gay. I respect that. I respect that. Dark Devil says Battlefield 6 Naked Helicopter Pilot stream. Little Jim's Halo says on Black Ops 7, that black woman that does a Mary Sue. I'm not going to play the campaign. I just want to play the multiplayer. I don't give a shit about the campaign. Arclight for 5. Get the memberships. Thank you. TJ says if you played at Generation Zero, Arc Raiders is alike. Jolly Roger says, Daily Wire politics aside, have you seen their new TV show trailer, Pendragon Cycle, yet? It's a medieval fantasy about King Arthur prequel show. Looks great so far. Funny story is that they actually, this just kind of shows you, because I'm still in their, I guess I'm in their Rolodex of people to reach out to. They actually reached out to me and offered me a paid promotion to talk about it. I just didn't respond. They offered a pretty good chunk of money too, but I just didn't respond. Because I've done work with them in the past. So yeah, they emailed about this like a week ago, and they were throwing some pretty big numbers out there, but I just didn't respond because I'm like, I don't fucking, I mean, if I watch it, I'll watch it. I don't need to get paid to watch your shit. I would never take a sponsorship to watch something because I think it would compromise my opinion in everyone's eyes. So you should take it. I can't. There's no way. It just doesn't feel right to. Why would I take money when my audience does so much to support me? Why would I take money from the Daily Wire to talk about some bullshit thing that they're doing? Like I'll watch it and I'll give you my honest opinion, but I just can't. I can't do. I just can't do it. So, but anyway. All right, guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. So you got, oh shit, they're telling me that they, because I told them I couldn't make F&T. Hang on, now they're saying they hang on. I told my chat I would be on. Do you have a spot for a bit? Let's see if there's a spot for a bit. So, all right. So we'll see. Anyway, you guys have a good evening. I don't know if I'm going to be on now because I told them earlier I couldn't, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I will have another CobraCast tonight, so we'll see what happens. And just kick Garrett 12 minutes behind. Alcohol, good use. Disinfecting a wound. I mean, I again, that's the argument is that everyone can find good use out of something. So, it is. But anyway, no spots for gay people in F&T. Let me see. How you going to get fired before you show up? Anyway, all right. Well, I may or may not be on because they got a diversity replacement for me. So I told X-Ray Girl, she's like, can you be on? And I said, I got 3 streams today. So unless you guys need me, no. But I didn't hear back from her until right now. And she's like, we got Epic Mike, so you're good. So I've been replaced by a half black person. Friday Night Tights went woke. Friday Night Tights went woke. There it is right there. See that? She's messaging me right now, trying to figure it out. Mike Eric says, might as well take the money. People already have a low opinion of you. You know what? Eric, that's damn good advice. The next time I get some big money offer to shill out some bullshit that I don't care about, I'm going to take this right here into account. Might as well take the money. People already have a low opinion. This is some of the best advice I've ever gotten. Elite Neo says, take a breather from F&T and let Beardo sub for you. The fact that Mike got to replace me instead of Beardo makes it even better. Okay, well, we're going to end it there. You guys go watch F&T. I appreciate all of you. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. Go to geeksgamers.com and check out the merch. Bye.